We are back here with another video, man. We're going to be talking about all the pink diamonds that are purchasable in the game, man. We're going to be talking about promo pink diamonds, and we are going to be talking about wild gem pink diamonds. I'm just going to be talking about all of them. I've played against a good amount of these. I've used a few of them. I've looked at their animations and attributes on 2KDB, everything. So I realized that, if you got a lot of MT, it's a big decision, man. So I guess where we should start is I did pick up Wilt Chamberlain, and not the biggest fan of him. Not the biggest fan of how he moves. Some bigs really move really well. Wilt is not one of them. We'll talk about a big later in the video that moves like a freaking point guard. You guys might know who I'm talking about, but we'll get to him later. But yeah, I realize that, it's a big decision here. You're spending at least 600, 700K MT, if not millions of MT on one of these cards. So I just kind of want to give my insight on what cards you should be picking up if you're looking to pick up a pink diamond, man. So we're going to start off with the wild gems because I believe that the wild gems tend to be overlooked, man. I think that a lot of people just don't really even pay attention to the wild gems, but there's a few really good ones in here, man. I think Karl Malone's a good option. He tends to go for, and again, these wild gems you just saw, I searched, there wasn't Takara Malone. There's going to be times, but if you search like for a few days in a row, there will eventually be one up. That's what I've found with these pink diamond wild gems. But with Karl Malone, he kind of tends to go for a little bit more than some of the other power forwards and centers, like wild gem pink diamond specifically. So I don't know if you want to be paying over a million MT for this card, but if you can get him for like 600, 700K, he's got a good release. He's going to be able to stretch the floor. He's really, really good at the power forward position, man. He's got a good player build. He's going to be able to defend well. I just don't really see too many flaws with this card, to be honest with you. We're looking at an 82 3 ball. Like I said, he's going to be able to stretch the floor. He's not going to be able to handle the ball or anything, but you can't expect that from a power forward at this stage in the game. I don't really see any flaws with Karl Malone, and I think for 600, 700 KMT, you can't really go wrong. Now, Michael Finley, I would completely avoid him. He's not very good. Chauncey Billups is not very good. Rondo is not very good, just too small. But Kelly Tripucka, man, if you're looking for a three hunting card, a card that is going to be able to three hunt, a card that is going to be able to put the ball in the basket, man, this is the card for you because the release on this card is one of the quickest releases I've seen out of like any card this year. So if you're looking for a type of card like that, man, I think that Kelly Tripucka is a good option. He's another one that tends to go for a little bit more because I think people are starting to realize how good this card really is. So, but I think even like 800K or under as far as for pink diamonds, I think Kelly Tripucka is a good pickup. Really, really good shooting guard at 6'6". People say he's not very good on the defensive end. He's still going to be able to hold it down, man. And then offensively, this card is going to be able to score the ball, man. He even has an 85 driving dunk, so you can add that on top of it as like almost like a cherry on top. Joe Caldwell is only 6'5", but he's not too bad. I mean, if you really wanted to use Joe Caldwell for whatever reason, he's not too bad. His release isn't bad. He's got a 95 driving dunk, which is his W, 86 three ball, so he's going to be able to green consistently. Don't really see any flaws with this card besides the fact that he's 6'5". I think that he's actually going to be kind of comparable to, he's maybe going to be a little bit worse shooting, but better rim running version of the Mitch Richmond that we have, man. So don't think you can really go wrong there. Joakim Noah is going to be able to hold it down the defensive end. We know what Joakim Noah is going to give you. Not going to give you a whole ton of offense, but he's going to be able to snag some boards, and he's going to be able to hold it down on the defensive end, man. So I think that he's a good option if you need like a defensive center. Xavier McDaniel, he's a card that I ran for a little while. He is an absolute beast. He might be the best card that we've looked at so far. Let me look. Maybe not as good as Kelly Tripucka because Kelly Tripucka really gets slept on, man. He's one of the best pink diamonds in the game just because of how good he is offensively. But X-Man is going to be able to give you everything at a more than elite level. He does only have an 81 three ball, but his release is so green. And people say, he's only going to be 6'7" at the small forward. It really doesn't matter. He's going to be able to handle the ball. His dribbling animations are amazing. He's going to be able to attack the rim with a 95 driving dunk. In a park setting, there are not many better cards in the game than this Xavier McDaniel, man. So I think that he is a very, very good option. This time, Tom Heinsohn, same thing. You're not going to want to run him in a showdown setting because he is only 6'7" at the power forward center position. But in a park setting, this Heinsohn's going to cook, man. Because, look at these stats right here. We've got an 89 three ball We've got an 85 driving duck. I mean, everything's like in the 80s or 90s, man. I really don't see any flaws with this card, and this card's got a good release. This card is really, really slept on. And it's just because of the fact that he can only play the power forward. If he could play the small forward, you'd be looking at one of the best small forwards in the game. No doubt about it. So in a park setting, you can run him. Bob McAdoo gets a little bit hyped up because I think like Killsamoy or someone really likes to run him. There's some creator that really likes him, so he gets a little bit overhyped. He does have a good release, though. He does have a 78 three ball, which is more than greenable. He's got a good release. He's got really good movement. He moves really, really well. He's going to be great on the defensive end. This card is really, really good, but I do think there are a couple better options at power forward that we will go over later in the video, man. But I think that Bob McAdoo can still hold it down at the power forward position. Still think he's a very good card. Ron Boone is horrible. Please do not pick up Ron Boone. We're looking at a 6'2 shooting guard. Major, major L there. Kevin Martin, going to be very similar. He's going to be maybe a slightly less cheesy offensive version of Kelly Chapuga, but better on the defensive end. That's kind of what we're looking at with Kevin Martin, man. I mean, he did get a little bit nerfed because he was one of those cards that people were able to green like every fade with and stuff, but I still think with his release, man, off the catch, he is going to be unbelievable for you, man. This is a very, very good shooting guard in this game. So you cannot go wrong with Kevin Martin. Pink Diamond Zebo, he's a card that I had for a while. This card is amazing. And now he does have, you know, maybe not the best release in the world, but his release is better than it's been in past years. Like, I think his release feels even better than like his 100 overall from the end of last year. It just feels quicker. It feels smoother. So with an 85 three ball, you cannot leave this man open because he is very, very green from the corners. And then he's just going to be an absolute bully inside, man. He's going to dunk over everybody. He's going to get every rebound. Again, stats-wise with this card, you're really not seeing any flaws at all. So this card can pretty much do it all. I mean, I really think that Zach Randolph, if you can get him for 607 KMT, I think he's better than Bob McAdoo. I really, really do. So don't sleep on Zach Randolph. Tim Thomas, his release is not as good as it has been in past years. We are still looking at a 6'10 small forward, though. And if you can get used to that release, if you can hit it open, he's going to be good. But just don't think of, you know, that Pink Diamond Tim Thomas from 2K23 because he's not nearly as good as that card. But he's still going to be good. Still got a 91 three ball, still going to hit open. He's still got an 85 driving dunk, got an 86 ball handle. So this card, I don't know if he's one of your best options just because of his release alone, but other than that, there's really no flaws with Tim Thomas. Robert Parrish, yes, I know that he's 7'1", but he can't stretch the floor, and he also has a 65 speed. So really not a very good option with Robert Parrish, unfortunately. David Thompson, a little bit undersized, but very, very good, man. He is only 6'4", but again, in the park setting, we're looking at a 98 driving dunk. This card is going to be able to dunk over everybody. He's got a decent release with an 85 three ball. Really, the only thing holding this card back is height, man. 6'4" at the shooting guard. But if you want to run him as your primary ball handler in park, whether you're playing with other people or playing with just your triple threat squad, I think he is a very, very good option. Going to hurt you a little bit on the defensive end at 6'4", but again, just very, very good as far as one of the best rim running cards in the entire game. Joe Dumars, I would probably avoid. You know, he does have an all right release, but 6'3", man, I'm just not sure who this card's defending at the end of the day. So really don't know if he's the best option. Latrell Sprewell, though, he is a good option. He, again, is another shooting guard that he's not going to be quite as good offensively as Kelly Chapuka or Kevin Martin, but he is going to be able to hold it down on the defensive end. He is going to give you a 90 driving dunk. I think, honestly, though, Kevin Martin is the overall better card because he gives you 2 inches to fight. I'd probably pick Kevin Martin over this card, but I still think that Latrell Sprewell can do some things. Now, Brandon Ingram as well as Lamar Odom, I think you're better off going with a card like Xavier McDaniel because, unfortunately, Lamar Odom and Brandon Ingram, both of their releases just are not very fast. They both have kind of slow releases. I know that both of them, you know, Brandon Ingram, 6'10" at the small forward, Lamar Odom, 6'10" at the small forward. I would go with Xavier McDaniel over both of these guys as well as over Tim Thomas. I think that Tim Thomas, Brandon Ingram, Lamar Odom, just not the best release in the world. Other than that, they're going to pretty much give you everything at an elite level, but I would definitely say that Xavier McDaniel is a better card overall than these three. Al Horford is horrible. Horrible release. Just absolutely horrendous. Jason Terry, undersized with a horrendous release. He might be the worst Pink Diamond Wild Gem. I don't know what they did. Well, no, he's not as bad as Kelvin Murphy and maybe a couple others, but he is. I don't know what they did to Jason Terry's release this year, but that release on this Pink Diamond Jason Terry is so bad. Plus, he's 6'2", so just avoid Jason Terry. Daryl Griffith, really just not the best option in the world, man. I think you're better off going with a card like David Thompson over a card like this. I mean, I guess you could say they're kind of similar, but Thompson's going to give you a little bit better release, a little bit better animations. He does have the 98 driving dunk, but I just think there are a lot more better options than Daryl Griffith. Paul Millsap, he's going to be a very solid option at the small forward position. I think you're better off going with Paul Millsap over BI, over Lamar, over Tim Thomas again, but I do not think he's as good as Xavier McDaniel. But I think that he is probably, like if you had Xavier McDaniel, say you have a ton of MT, you want to run Xavier McDaniel and Paul Millsap as your two small forwards, you could be doing a hell of a lot worse. There's no doubt about that. I mean, this card, he's got an 87 3-ball. He's got a decent release. It's not as good of a release as X-Man. He's not going to be able to shoot up the dribble as well as X-Man. But off the catch in the corner open, he's not going to miss. And he's got an 85 driving dunk, and he is even going to be able to handle the ball a little bit. So yeah, I just really don't see any flaws with this Paul Millsap card, man. I think that he is a very, very good option. Donald, just a little bit too small, man. 6'3" at the point guard. I don't really know who that card is going to be defending. Kelvin Murphy, there's no way you're picking up this card unless it's just a meme. Because, 5'9". Like, I just don't even really know what else to say. If you want to pick him up for the lols, then I feel you. But there's no point in picking up Kelvin Murphy, man. Rudy Tomjanovich. Don't really see any reason why you would pick up this card over Paul Millsap or over Xavier McDaniel, because he's got a lower driving dunk. He's got an 89 3-ball with a pretty decent release, I will say, but he's just not going to move as well. He is a little bit, he's like maybe a slightly worse Paul Millsap. I still think he's better than Tim Thomas, still think he's better than Lamar Odom and BI, but I do not think he's quite as good as Paul Millsap, and I don't think he's as good as X-Man either. But he is a good option. Like, if you really like Rudy Tomjanovich or whatever, you're going to have some success with the card. John Stockton. The days of John Stockton being good in 2K are over until they give this man a driving dunk. He's got a 25 driving dunk. What are we doing with that? And who is he going to defend? The answer is nobody. Same with Bill Sharman. Just too small. You can cook with them on offense, all these small point guards, and you can run them in an offline setting, but online, man, they're going to be a liability. That's all that I got to say. Chris Middleton, he's a little bit overrated, I will say. There's some people hyping up this card, man, but you're only looking at a 75 driving dunk. That's lower than a lot of these other shooting guards. He is 6'7" at the shooting guard position. He's going to be better defensively than a lot of the shooting guards we've talked about. So if you do want a shooting guard that's going to be able to really just lock people up, he's a good option. But again, his release is not as good as it's been in past years, and he's not going to be able to move super well. Chris Middleton can never really move all that well. You know what I'm saying? So, don't know. If you want a defensive kind of shooting guard, I think that he's a decent option again, but I think that there are better options at the shooting guard position. Rod Strickland, he's not too bad. He is only 6'3" at the point guard, but he's going to be way better than that free diamond one. I don't know why they made that free diamond one so bad, man. But he's going to be able to cook on the offensive end. He's going to be able to do everything you need. He's going to be able to handle the ball. He's going to be able to cook. Now, Walt Frazier, this card is a little bit slept on, in my humble opinion, because when we're looking at point guards, man, he is 6'4", which that is fine for a point guard. 6'4" is a little bit small for a shooting guard, but 6'4" for a point guard is more than fine at this stage. And we were looking at an 88 3-ball, not like a super cheesy release or anything, but you're still going to be able to green with him. And then he also has a 95 ball handle with, only a 75 drive and dunk, but you can still hit some dunks when you're driving in. And he is going to be very, very good on the defensive end as well. I think this card's a little bit underrated, personally. I don't ever hear anybody talking about this Walt Frazier, but I think that he's pretty good. Plus, look at this man. Look at those mutton chops. And look at the name too. Walter Frazier, Walter Clyde Frazier. Walter's a pretty good name if I do say so myself. So that's my name, if you guys didn't know. So anyway, yeah, Walt Frazier, good option. Kevin McHale, not very good. Just not very good. Kevin McHale is going to be really good later in the year, but this card, only a 78 3-ball, not a good release whatsoever. Only an 80 driving dunk. He does have an 85 standing dunk, but there's just so many better options when you're looking at this Kevin McHale, and then you compare him to some of these other power forwards. Just not really sure what Kevin McHale is going to give you over a card like Moses Malone, or what he's going to give you over a card like a Bob McAdoo or a Zach Randolph. I just really don't see it with this Kevin McHale card. He's going to be a cheeseball later in the year, don't worry, but this Pink Diamond Kevin McHale I'd probably avoid because I think that there are better options. Now, Caron Butler, we're looking at a 6'7" guard. I don't know what they did to his player model there. That looks nothing like Caron Butler. He's had a player model that looks exactly like him in the past. I don't know what they did. But anyway, 93 ball, 85 driving dunk. This card is going to be very, very good for you, man. I don't know if he's going to be quite as cheesy, like shot creating as Kevin Martin, but I think he's going to be a little bit better attacking the rim. Maybe, on a similar level defensively. I think Caron Butler overall and Kevin Martin as well are very, very comparable cards. Very, very good at the shooting guard position. I would take them both over Chris Middleton for sure. And I think that Caron Butler is a very, very good option, man. Moses Malone, if you guys have not watched my gameplay with this card, go and check that out if you wish. This card is just the best word that I could use to describe him is just a beast. That is what this card is going to give you. He's going to be a beast on the glass. He's going to be a beast when it comes to dunking the ball over people. 63 ball, that's the only flaw that this card has. And this is more, animations based. You look at some of his stats, maybe they're not as good as, Kevin McHale or Zebo or Bob McAdoo or anything. But Moses's animations, and you'll know what I mean if you watch the gameplay and also if you use this card, man. Plus, he's got a really, really good release. He's going to be able to green from mid all day. This card, if you just want someone who is going to be an absolute animal, like grab every board and just dunk over everybody like crazy, this is who I would pick up. This Pink Diamond Moses Malone. Because he is just an animal, man. That is the best word that I could use to describe him. Dave Bing, absolutely not. Just avoid Dave Bing at all costs. Lou Hudson, 6'5" at the shooting guard position. He's going to be, he's going to be more of like a catch and shoot type player. I don't really see much of a use for this card. He's honestly probably going to be like a worse version of that John Havlicek and also a worse version of Pink Diamond Clay. So I don't really see, he does have an 85 driving dunk, but I just don't really love his animations. His release is good, but it's more of a catch and shoot type of release. Don't really know about this card. Just think that there's a lot better options. Now, Brad Miller. Brad Miller, one of the most underrated cards in the game. We're looking at a 6'11 center with a 93 ball, so he can absolutely stretch the floor, man. He's got an 80 driving dunk, 85 standing dunk. This is one of the most underrated cards in the game, and it is very possible, man, and I'm not even kidding you. Maybe besides one or two newer cards, but this could be the best center in the game. I just really don't know why no one talks about this card. This Pink Diamond Brad Miller is just a freak of nature with how his stats and badges and everything are at this point in the year, man. I just don't see any flaws with this card whatsoever, and I really think that he belongs on the best team in the game. I really, really do. I think that this card is unbelievable. Now, Earl Monroe, kind of going to be a slightly worse version of Walt Frazier. You can get away with using this card. If you're a big Earl the Pearl fan or whatever the case may be, man. There's worse point guards in the game. There's no doubt about that. Because we're looking at an 85 driving dunk, 88 3-point shot, and he's 6'3", which again at the point guard a little bit getting to the point where he's a little bit too small, but he's going to be a lot better than cards like Bill Sharman, Don Old, John Stockton, just because of that 85 driving dunk. Excuse me. So I don't really, I don't know why you would run this card, but if for some reason you really want to run Earl the Pearl, you can get away with it, and he's going to be able to cook on some people. Hal Greer, absolutely not. So that is what we're looking at with the Pink Diamond Wild Gems. Now, if we start looking at promo and reward cards, which I believe that they're all in the menus up here. Yeah, okay, so obviously we all know about Clay at this point. We know what Clay is going to give you. It's not even really worth going over any of these cards because they're not even available anymore. But obviously, we know Asia Wilson's horrible. Sigma is one of the best cards in the game. We know that. Glenn Rice, very, very good. Jason Kidd, very, very good. And Klay Thompson, overrated but still solid. That's what we're looking at there. Now, if we're looking at these Pink Diamonds in the game on set, John Morant, I don't really know why you'd pick up. He's going to be fun to use. But as far as, looking at, I think there's a lot better options in the Wild Gems tab for point guards, man. A lot better Wild Gem Pink Diamond point guards available when comparing them to this Ja Morant, because he does have a decent release. Got an 86 three ball. He's got a 98 drive and dunk, which that can get a little cheesy. That can be a W. There's no doubt about that. But I don't know who Ja Morant's going to be defending. I just really, really don't. So that's really the flaw with this card. Kawhi Leonard, one of the best cards in the entire game. Just a silky smooth release. He's got an 89 three ball. He's got an 85 drive and dunk, and he's going to be able to defend pretty much all 5 positions on the court, man. There's really not any flaws with this Pink Diamond Kawhi. So if you really like Kawhi, you want to pick up Kawhi, you want to spend all your MT on him to run him in park, I am not going to be the person to tell you not to do that because this card is elite. And then Candace Parker, just really no reason with a lot of these WNBA players. Like if you want to run her for the lols, like I get it, but I just don't know. Paige Becker is one of the worst Pink Diamond WNBA players. Jimmy Butler, not very good. He's going to give you everything at like a more than solid level, like, 85 drive and dunk, 84 three ball, not the best release in the world. Don't really see any reason why you would use this card when, he's not as good as some of the other, Pink Diamond shooting guards that we already went over in the Wild Gems tab. Don't really see any reason why. I mean, if you're a huge Jimmy Butler fan, like I kind of am a little bit indifferent about Jimmy Butler at this point because, we know that I'm a Heat fan, everything. I don't really know what to think about him because he is kind of a little bit of a traitor, but if you are a really big Jimmy Butler fan, he'll be able to hold it down at the shooting guard. I'm not saying at all that he's a bad card. Because he's absolutely elite. Giannis. We know what we're getting with Giannis, man. You're getting one of the cheesiest player builds in the game. You're going to get a card that's going to be able to dunk over everybody. You're getting a card that's going to be able to defend the 1 through 5 at an elite level. And Giannis, LeBron, there's a few players like that every single year they just get animations that no other player gets. And I don't know what they do to them, but Giannis just gets some animations even when he's jumping for rebounds, even when he's going up for dunks, even when he's got the ball in his hands. He just is a cheese ball. That's what you're getting with Giannis. 65 three ball, that's really the only flaw he's got. So, he's not going to be able to stretch the floor as well as you might want him to. But, if you want to just run the rim with Giannis, he's going to be able to dunk over everybody. So, we know what we're getting with Giannis. Do I think that he is 1.5 to 2 million MT better than Pink Diamond Moses Malone? No, I don't. So that's kind of what we're looking at there with that card. The Limitless Pink Diamonds are all so mid, man. Curry, yes, you can have a lot of fun with him if you like Steph Curry. If you're like a really, really good three hunter, this card's going to be good. But other than that, he's kind of just a niche card. Cameron Brink, just 6'4" at the power forward, and then Anthony Edwards just really is never that great. And it's kind of the same thing this year. Like I know that he is 6'4" at the shooting guard, just a little bit small, and he's got a 98 driving dunk. I just don't really see why you'd be paying more MT though to get this card over a card like David Thompson, because David Thompson's got better animations as well. So I just don't. They're comparable cards. There's no doubt about that. But if you're a big Anthony Edwards fan, there's really not many bad Pink Diamonds in the game. We went over a few bad ones in the Wild Gems tab, but there's really not too many bad ones. Swain Cash, I don't know why you'd pick her up. Shaq, I think that Shaq for like the big centers, I think this card's better than Wilt. And I kind of regret picking up Wilt a little bit. But these really, really big centers this year, I don't know if this is going to change throughout the year because it wasn't really like this last year. But there's something weird with really, really big players that they aren't as fast as they should be. Because we're looking at the Shaq here. Yes, you got an 87 speed. Wilt's speed, I think, is like a 90 or something. Neither one of them play like that. Neither one of them play like they have upper 80s, lower 90s speed. So I don't know what's up with that, but it's Shaq, man. He's going to be a bully down low. He's going to get every rebound. He's going to be able to dunk it over everybody. He's going to have a horrible release, though. You're going to even struggle to hit free throws with a card like this, but if you want a big that's just going to hold down the paint, you can't go wrong with Shaq. There's no doubt about that. And then Kyrie, if you want a cheese ball point guard, because this card is going to be able to handle the ball super, super well, if you are one of those players that in park or an all-star team up, you like a couple people to come and, kind of set a screen on either side for you. You like to cook off some screens, get your kind of dribble moves going and everything, and kind of three hunt that way. This is a good guard for that, for sure. But other than that, I don't really see any use for this card. It's kind of similar to Curry, where they're a little bit niche, and in the right hands, they are going to be, a card that's going to be able to drop like half your team's points if they're in the right hands. But other than that, if they're not in the right hands, I really don't see a use for a card like Kyrie or Curry, man. Now, Carmelo Anthony, this is one of the best pink diamonds in the game, man. His release, so green. Just, there's no flaws with this card. 6'7" at the small forward. Yes, I will admit he's a lot better than Xavier McDaniel. He just is. He is one of the best small forwards one of the best just cards in general in the entire game. I mean, I don't really even have much to say about this card because he doesn't have any flaws. 92 three ball, 90 driving dunk. His movement is insane. His ball handling is insane. His animations are insane. This card can just absolutely cook, man. And even I think that this might be one of the first cards we've seen so far, maybe besides Giannis. Well, Giannis and Kawhi, and then probably Melo as well, are kind of the three cards so far where I'm like, okay, if you want to pay over $1 million MT, like I get it because they're just that good. And then Anthony Davis, I'm just not sure with his release. He can stretch the floor though, so that is advantageous because you can't just leave him wide open with that 82 three ball, so that is nice. I mean, he is going to be a bully. He's going to be able to dunk it over people. He's going to be amazing on the defensive end. I don't like his animations as much as I like Moses' animations though, so just keep that in mind. But that 82 three ball, that alone might make him a better card than Moses Malone. So I think that he is, he's a good option, but I don't think he's nearly as good as, Melo, just as like an overall card. So I don't think he's worth over $1 million MT. I just don't. And this Dunktober set, all three of these pink diamonds are so mid. Like, I'm sorry. Dwight is just, he's 6'10", and you're really not going to want to run him at the power forward just because he's not going to be a good shooter. He's not going to be able to stretch the floor like you want. And he's just a little bit too small for center. I don't know what you're getting, if you're thinking that, oh, this card is not. I don't see what this card does better than a card like Diamond Boogie Cousins. I just don't. So I don't know why you go out and spend like almost $1 million MT on this card because I just don't think he's worth it. And then Derrick Rose, I just don't think he's worth it because I think Ja Morant's better. Ja Morant gets better animations. Ja Morant is going to be a better rim runner. Ja Morant is going to be able to hit three-pointers at a higher clip. So I don't know what Derrick Rose is giving you over Ja Morant, so I don't really see a point with this card either. Now, Brittany Griner actually, she's usable at the power forward position, but she's not like anything special. She's 6'9" at the power forward. She's going to be able to stretch the floor with a 77 three ball. That is more than greenable, but I just don't know why. I mean, for the lulz, if you want to get her for the lulz, she's actually runnable. Like, she's runnable in a showdown setting, so, I mean, I get it, but I really don't see a hole. I mean, we know we're getting with Dr. J. Dr. J, best card in the game. No doubt about it. I mean, just the most all-around absolute beast of a card. No flaws with this card. And if you want to spend all your MT on him and just have him as, your card that you run in Team Upper Park, I really don't blame you because there's nothing wrong with the card. He does everything at an absolutely elite level. Tatum is a card that kind of has people split, but I think he's a really, really good card. 6'8" at the small forward. We're looking at a 94 three ball. We're looking at a 95 drive and dunk, and his release is decent. I mean, it's not going to be like this extra, cheesy release or anything, but he's going to give you everything that you need at a more than good level, I would say. So, I mean, if you're a Tatum fan, if you want this card, I really don't blame you because this card's very, very good. I just don't really see anything wrong with this card. Now, this Jonquel Jones. This is one of the most underrated cards in the game. You guys heard me talk about this card in a prior video. Are you going to want to run her in a showdown setting? No, because she's 6'6" at the power forward in the center. But the animations on this card, we're looking at a card with a 95 three ball. And she does have an 85 drive and dunk, so she can yam it down a little bit. And we're looking at one of the best releases in the game. We're looking at a card that is absolutely going to be a cheese ball with the ball in her hands. This card might even be, how much is she going for? No, there's not even any up on the auction house. But if you can get her, like I was even trying to see if I could get one of her for like 500 or 600K, I think she's worth that price. Because I really don't see any flaws with this card if we're looking at like a park setting. I just don't. I mean, this card can be your primary ball handler. This card's very, very good. It's very unfortunate that she's locked in at the power forward center because if this card was like a shooting guard, small forward, she'd be a problem. I mean, I'm just trying to tell it how it is. She would absolutely be a problem. So, yeah, man, that's what we're looking at with Jonquel. Courtney Vandersloot, way too small. Chris Bosh. Okay, let's talk about Chris Bosh. People were kind of saying, like, oh, this card is kind of a mid-level 40. I'm not too excited about Chris Bosh. I don't know, but this might be the best card in the game. The way that people can move with this card, and we were talking about with Shaq, Wilt, some other bigs. Bigs don't move all that well. Chris Bosh is 6'11" and moves like a point guard. I don't know what they did to Chris Bosh, but he is a cheese ball. I am so excited to get Chris Bosh at the level 40, and I'm thinking that he actually might be better than Sigma. Like, I'm not even capping. Just because he moves better. He moves like a point guard. And his dribble sigs, his release, he's honestly, that's what I'm going to say. I'm going to say he's a better version of Sigma. That's what I'm going to say. I really think that you guys might think I'm gassing it. Just wait until you play against this card a few times, man. Wait till you get this card in your hands because this card is something special. This Pink Diamond Chris Bosh is a point guard in a 6'11 body. And this card's unbelievable. This card is absolutely unbelievable. I'm not trying to gas it up too hard. I'm just telling you guys how it is. This card is a problem. And it's really, really cool that everybody's going to be able to get him and that he's free because he's a W. He's so good. Elton Brand, horrible. 45 3 ball. Sidney Moncrief, 54 3 ball, horrible. John Havlicek, very, very similar to Wild Gem Lou Hudson. Just going to be kind of a catch and shoot shooting guard. Him, Lou Hudson, Clay, all kind of similar, serve a similar role. Not going to be able to create all the well, not going to move all the well, but still going to be cash from the outside. But really, there's better options. There's a lot better options. Wes Unseld, people are dogging on this card. This card's going to be good. I know he doesn't have the best 3-ball in the world. We're looking at a card with 67 3-ball. I know he's only 6'7" at the power forward, but he's still going to be able to defend very, very well with how defense is in the paint. It's different than last year. It's not like height rules all. It does matter, but it doesn't matter as much as it does in the past. You got an 80 driving dunk. He's not anything special, but he's going to be good. And then Mitch Richmond, going to be a very, very good option at the shooting guard position with that 93 ball, 75 driving dunk. Maybe not as high as you'd like to see, but he's going to be able to score the ball. His release is money, and he's going to be good. So that's what I have to say about the season 2 rewards. And then we move over here. Devin Booker, probably the best point guard in the game. Do I think he's as good overall as Dr. J? No. He might be like the second or third best card in the game. Maybe like third or fourth. I'm trying to think of who might slide in at like the 2 or the 3 spot. But, I mean, he's a top 3 card in the game. I'll just go ahead and say it because what this card is going to give you offensively, I mean, we're looking at an 80 driving dunk. He's still going to be able to dunk it over people. We're looking at a 94 3-ball. We're looking at a card with unbelievable dribble sigs for this point in the year. This card is a 3-hunting and scoring player's dream because he's just going to be able to put the ball in the basket. And 6'6" at the point guard, he's going to be able to defend at not an elite level, but he's going to be able to defend well enough to where he's not a liability at this point in the year. So do I think that he is worth, well, I think that these 2 cards are probably going to go for about 3 million MT. Do I think he's worth that? No. I think if you're at the point where you've got like 3, 4, 5 million MT, you should be trying to get Dr. J instead because Dr. J's just got that better driving dunk. He's not as cheesy 3-hunting, but he's going to be able to 3-hunt, and then he's got the driving dunk as well as better defense. So I would try and get, Dr. J if I'm going to spend that much MT, but I do think this card's good. Nafisha Collier, 6'1". I don't really know what we're doing with that there. And then Wilt. I'm still kind of on the fence. Like, if Shaq, honestly, I think that Shaq and Wilt are they're kind of one and the same. They're going to serve a similar role. They're going to be, bigs who are just going to be able to grab every rebound. They're going to be able to score in the post. They're not going to be able to stretch the floor, though, which does hurt a little bit. And then they're not going to be, they just don't move as well as they should. Like, let's look at Wilt's speed really quick. We're looking at a card with a 89 speed. He does not move like he's got an 89 speed. That is what I will tell you. But his release is not as bad as I was saying, like, this card's release is going to be even detrimental, like with free throws and everything. This card's release is not as bad as I thought. I think they actually changed his release because there was that 96 overall free agent wilt, I think they changed the release from that card to this card because this card just seems like it has a better release. I don't know if that's like placebo, but I think that they actually did do that. So, I mean, this card's a good option if you want a card that's just going to dominate the post, but I don't really know what he's going to give you other than that. So that's what we're looking at there. But yeah, man, that is all the pink diamonds in the game. Hopefully this video helps you guys out with who you want to pick up. Again, to reiterate, some cards that I would absolutely recommend: Kelly Tripucka, Xavier McDaniel, Tom Heinsohn, Zach Randolph, Kevin Martin, David Thompson's not too bad, Paul Millsap, Karan Butler, Moses Malone, Brad Miller. And then we move up here: Kawhi Leonard, Giannis, Carmelo Anthony, Julius Erving, Devin Booker probably. So yeah, those are kind of the cards that I would be. Those are the best pink diamonds in the game, the ones that I just mentioned right there. So don't, be, I kind of wanted to make this video because there's a lot of people that just never talk about the pink diamond wild gems for whatever reason, but there's some really, really good ones, and usually they're cheaper than the promo pink diamonds. So that's kind of why. Plus, you don't have to lock in. And I know that I didn't talk about the lock-ins, but we're not going to talk about them. We know that they're the best cards in the game, but are they worth the lock-in? No. Joel Embiid, absolute beast. I realize that. Scottie Pippen, he's good, but he's not as good as Dr. J. Joel Embiid. Well, wait, we already talked about Joel Embiid. SGA, one of the best point guards in the game. Like, I get it, but I don't think he's worth locking in and getting over a card like Devin Booker. And then Kevin Garnett, which, I mean, just why would you lock in for Kevin Garnett? So, yeah, that is, I believe, all of the pink diamonds in the game. I kind of almost forgot to even mention. Oh, T-Mac. Don't lock in for T-Mac. He's not worth it. But anyway, yeah, I believe that is all the pink diamonds in the game. So hopefully we're not going to go over the hidden gems because, I mean, there's just too many, and you only have access to really one at this point. So there's really no point in going over them, I don't think. Maybe we'll do that in a future video. I don't know, but we're going to not do that today. But yeah, that is the rest of the pink diamonds as far as the ones you can go and purchase right now or go ahead and grind for right now or whatever the case may be. So hopefully this video helps you guys out. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you're new, as well as leave a like on the video, man. And with all that being said, I will see you guys in the next video.